Hello everyone, I am Piyush Goyal and I welcome you to Voxcel's YouTube channel. So this is another video in the series of true, false and not given. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So if you are familiar with my process, you will know what we will do. We will first read the title of the passage, and the title is saying Mona Lisa. So as you may know about this particular thing, it's a painting. It's a painting of a woman known as Mona Lisa, and its paragraph should contain all the information or some relevant information regarding this particular piece of painting. So we will not start reading the passage, we will go straight to the questions. We will read the question and then we will come to the passage. So in this, what we will have to do, we have to write true, false or not given for these particular questions. So for the what we will do is we will read our first question. Okay, so Francesco del Giocondo was the wife of Leonardo da Vinci. So we have to find out if this particular person was the wife of Leonardo da Vinci. When the information will be true, when this particular person is the wife of da Vinci, and when it will be false, when this particular person is not the wife of Leonardo da Vinci. And when it will be not given, when we don't know the relation between these two persons, or we don't know the relation between, or we don't know the name of wife of Leonardo da Vinci, or the relationship of this particular person with somebody else. So we will straight read the first passage. Mona Lisa, also known as La Gioconda, is the wife of Francesco del Giocondo. Sorry. Alright, so Mona Lisa was the wife of this person. So this person is obviously a male and Mona Lisa is the wife of this person. Not this person is not the wife of Leonardo da Vinci. So obviously our answer to this question should be false. Clear? It was a quite straight question. Second one, the French government bought the painting in Paris, France. So when the question will be true, when we know that the government of France, they bought the painting in Paris. Okay, so but France, meaning to say Paris is capital of France. So if the French government bought this painting in Paris, we will say true. But if they bought this painting somewhere else, like in US or other parts of Europe or any other country, we will say false. Or if it is not bought, it is gifted to them, we will say false. And if we don't know whether the government bought it in Paris or somewhere else, or how they acquired this painting, we will say not given. Okay, what we will do is we will continue reading. This painting is painted as oil on wood. The original painting size is 77 by 53 centimeter, 30 into 27 by 8 inches, and is owned by the government of France. So government of France owns this particular piece of painting and is in the wall in the Louvre in Paris, France. So if I am not pronouncing some words correctly or city's name correctly, I am sorry in advance. These names are a bit difficult for me to pronounce because I haven't heard them too often. So we know the painting is owned by the government of France and it is in Paris, or particular place in Paris, France. But how the government acquired this painting? Did they buy this painting, or did someone or any other government gave them as a gift? We don't know anything about that. So we will say the answer to this question should be not given. Hope it is clear. Moving forward to the next question. The Mona Lisa was painted by an artist named Leonardo. So we have to find the keywords are Mona Lisa. It was let me change the color. Mona Lisa, it was painted by person called Leonardo. Okay, so when the answer will be true, yes, when the painter's name is Leonardo. When the answer will be false, when the painter who painted this painting was someone else, not Leonardo but somebody else. When it will be not given, when we don't know who painted this painting. So what we will do is we will read further. The figure of a woman dressed in Florentine fashion of her day and seated in a visionary mountainous landscape is a remarkable instance of Leonardo's fumetto technique of soft, heavily shaded modeling. Okay, so from here it can be easily deduced that this person used his particular technique known as fumetto. Okay, so in other words, in simpler words, he is the painter of this painting called Mona Lisa. So yes, he painted this painting. So the answer to this should be true. Moving on to the next question. The painting is well known around the world. So when the answer will be true, when this painting is well known, it can be written as famous, popular around the world. If it is written that this painting is famous around the world, we will say the answer to this question is true. But if it is written that it was not that famous or not many people know about this painting, we will say false. And if we don't know anything about its popularity level, we will say not given. Though you might have heard about this painting because it's quite popular, but until or unless it is written in the paragraph that this painting is famous, we will not use our common sense and we will not say true without reading. The answer might be true, I don't know right now, but we will not use our common knowledge, general knowledge, common sense to mark any questions in the reading. Be very careful about that. So if in the question it is written that this painting is well known around the world, we will say true. Otherwise we will not write true. The Mona Lisa's enigmatic expression, which seems both alluring and aloof, has given the portrait universal fame. So has meaning to say present, and universal fame meaning to say universal popularity. So it is well known. If it was not written like that, we wouldn't have said true, because we will not use our common knowledge, general knowledge, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, until or unless that particular thing is mentioned in the paragraph, you will not write anything from your side. Moving forward, fifth question. The word Gioconda in Italian means happiness. So if you don't know how to pronounce, like I'm not so sure about the pronunciation of this particular word, doesn't matter, because this word will not be paraphrased. I believe it's an Italian word. So in Italy it means happiness. Maybe a French word, I don't know about that. So if in if this word is meaning is happiness, we will say true. But if this word's meaning is something else, like sad or confused, something else other than happiness, we will say false. But if we don't know the meaning of this particular word, we will say not given. Simple as that. The Mona Lisa's famous smile represents the sitter in the same way that the juniper branches represent Ginevra Banchi and the Amine represent Cecilia Gallerini in their portraits in Washington and Caracol respectively. So we haven't found that particular word. It is a visual representation of the idea of happiness suggested by the word Gioconda in Italian. So yes, Gioconda in Italian means happiness. So for this, our answer should be true. So one more thing, I have, because of these three trues, so we will check our answers later, but I am like 100% sure that these three answers will be true. So what students usually do is, if they see three trues or three false or three not givens in a line, they will think to themselves that one of this they must have read wrong, or one of this is incorrect for sure, because three truths cannot be in line. Similarly, falses or not givens. But let me tell you one thing, that this can happen. It's not like something that cannot happen. It is perfectly capable of happening. This particular scenario is okay. So if you get this scenario and you are 100% sure that when you were marking a particular answer, that answer is correct, do not go over to the previous questions. Okay, move forward. Sixth question. The countryside depicted in the background is also important to the meaning of the painting. So the countryside depicted in the background, so whatever is in the background is also important to the meaning of painting. So for meaning of painting to come out or to show to the people, the background is also important. So it is true when yes, the background is important. False when the background has not that relevant, is not that relevant in this particular context. We will say false, and not given when we don't know about it. Leonardo made this notion of happiness the central motif of the portrait. It is this notion which makes the work such an ideal. The nature of the landscape also plays a role. So yes, whatever the nature of the landscape is, it also plays a crucial role to make the notion of happiness stand out. So yes, it is true in that regard. Seventh, the artist liked to use warm colors in his artistic work. So the artist, we know in this case it is Leonardo, he liked to use warm colors in his artistic work. So if this particular person liked to use warm colors for his work, we will say answer is true. But if he didn't like to use warm colors, or if it was like one of the instances where he used warm colors, we will say false. And if we don't know about his preferences, we will say not given. Okay. The middle distance on the same level as the sitter's chest is in warm colors. So here is something about warm colors. So the information is just revealing what is the color used for this particular painting. Men live in this space. There are winding road and a bridge. The space represents transition between the space of the sitter and the far distance. So we don't know whether the artist preferred to use warm colors in his other works, or it is only used in this work. So we just know from this piece of information that the color used in this painting for this particular scene is warm. But for his preference, as far as his preferences goes, we have no idea about that, so we will say not given. Next question. The wild and uninhabited space depicted the landscape refers to the difficult path of life. So the wild and uninhabited landscape refers to the difficult path of life, that it represents the struggles of life, something like that. So if it represents the struggles of life, we will say true. But if it represents something else, like some sort of higher path or some sort of reward, thing like that, we will say false. and if we don't know what why the artist or what the artist wanted to convey by using wild and uninhabited space in the landscape, we will say not given. Okay, the space represents the transition between the space of the sitter and the far distance where the landscape becomes a wild and uninhabited space. So here it is, uninhabited space of rock and water depicted, which stretches to the horizon, which Leonardo has cleverly drawn at the level of the sitter's eyes. Again, he has used this particular thing in his painting, but in the information or in the text we don't know, or we are not given the information what it refers to. So we cannot say it refers to the difficult path of life. There is no mention regarding that. So we will say not given. We don't know the intention of the artist from the particular passage. Hope it is clear. So if you see, there are like we will check the answers. False, not given, true, true, true. Okay, there are 4 truths in this question. Not given, not given. First let's false, not given, true, 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 not given, not given. So if this thing happens in your exam and you are 100% sure that the particular question you have marked as true or false or not given, maybe they are 2 in a row, 3 in a row, or 4 in a row. Most I have seen 3 in a row in Cambridge books also, not 4 in a row. Obviously 4 in a row I have seen in this particular passage. So do not get nervous if you are sure that you have marked while reading a particular question with 100% accuracy, your answer will be correct. So if you want our help, if you are not able to still understand it, you can watch other videos on my channel. So there are a lot of videos regarding not only true false but of the Cambridge books itself. You can go and watch them if you have any doubt in any Cambridge books. Okay, if I am gonna leave the link to my website in the description box, you can contact us there if you want help. If you are not able to get your all elusive band 7 in writing or speaking, you can contact us. We have had numerous students, hundreds of students if not thousands, so we will be happy to help you. We will tell you about your mistakes, why you are not able to get more than band 6 or 6.5, why you are not getting 7 or more than 7, why you are stuck at 6 or 6.5, and if you are preparing for academic, if you are not getting band 6 or 6.5, why you are not getting your desired band score. We will tell you with the parameters that are checked during the exam where you are lacking, so that you can give the examiner exactly what they are looking for. So I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.